Yes, we are live, and today we have a new member with us. It's Elliot. Maybe we can have a short intro about us, and then we can start with whatever we are doing. So I'll go. So I'm Anuraj. I'm currently based in Finland, and yeah, my background is in robotics. I've been doing robotics for around 15 years now, and mostly working as a consulting engineer for different companies here in Finland. And then I joined the YaRG Robotics group. I think when it was started 4 years ago. Yeah, short intro about me. Next, maybe Eric.
Sure. Yes. So Eric and joined upon this. Anuraj, I think we joined from the beginning, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So that's already 4 years ago.
yeah, long time.
Can't believe this. Yes. And so Eric, I'm originally from France, but I'm based in Japan for a very long time. I have a background in AI, but from 30 years ago. Okay, so started 30 years ago, so it's a different world today. Okay, so 30 years ago it was also very much involved in robotics. Okay, so as we can see, coming back to robotics these days. Okay, pretty much interested in space. Okay, but otherwise I'm working mainly on my own companies. Okay, one in robotics, or more specifically software for robotics, where we build the tools. Okay, for developing robots, and the other one is in agriculture. We're using especially machine learning to automate several processes inside agriculture. Yes, and glad to have you uh, today. Right?
Yeah, I'm Rhett. I'm based in Seattle. I was the newbie on the group, and then I started like a month or two later. I guess just behind on that. But I'm also it's probably been 4 years. I'm also like software guy, a lot of like infrastructure, kind of back end stuff. But always kind of missed out. I felt like I missed out not doing any electrical engineering or robotic stuff um, along the way, and so I was just kind of excited to do something more with the hardware side. Although I still find myself mostly working on software because that seems to be the real time suck to just everything needs software that works right. But yeah, I did a little bit of I made a PCB and I did some 3D printing and some other stuff too, not just hack on software all the time. But it's been fun.
And I'm Elliot. I'm based in Oakland. This is my first time joining Yak Collective event, just hanging out to see what's going on. My background's also software, and I've done a bit of hardware hacking, but not much in the past. Small little like LED light up stuff. So yeah, just hanging out and seeing what's going on and seeing how I can contribute.
Good to have you.
Good to
Yes,
have you
welcome.
and welcome. Uh, Maybe Eric, we can see that README and that those pull requests first.
Sure,
Share
sure.
my screen. Yeah.
So, just for the context, is that we have some shared code on the shared code, shared design, and so on GitHub and so on. And today we on the agenda we have a bunch of things, including trying to make sense out of the old PRs that are just pending for a long time. So should be familiar with this Python code, and I think right Python.
Yeah, it's Python.
Yeah, I've done lots of Python.
Great. So you're sharing your screen, Anuraj? Okay.
Yeah. So I think I have your. Is it visible what I'm typing in?
It's a little small,
Yeah.
but I think we can see it.
No, maybe it's this one. So this is the change you have, right? Do you remember it?
Yes, it looks so. Yes, but wait a second. No, that's depending on poetry. For me, I removed everything about poetry. If you go to the PR, you will have the branch name. Yeah, at the top, you can just copy the name of the branch to the right.
Yeah, but this branch is not there on this YaRG Robotics garage, right? This is on yours. So
Well, yes. So if you're not using that branch, it will not work. Huh? So I think we have the answer.
well, let's see. We can just copy this, right?
What's the deal? You just don't like poetry?
It's an extra install basically that we don't really need. And so when I was adding a few things that you can see through the document, I saw that okay, maybe it was simpler like that. So it was just a proposal. Huh? Okay, we don't have to take it in.
Well, I had started this on a Replit instance, and then I moved it here. So this is working. This should work. What was the command?
Yeah,
This one,
at
right?
the top. Yes, maybe the one on the right if you want. Well, that one it should be enough. Yes. So the reason to remove poetry was really to remove an setup step. That's something we were talking about a few months ago, that we wanted to have something as simple as possible. So if you do a pip list, maybe we should see whether fast API is available. Yeah, it was installed. Huh?
No, where is it? So, so do I have to enable some virtual environment or something? How
It's
does this work?
supposed to be done in a virtual environment, yes. But you run it in whatever environment was available, so it should appear there.
Okay. Let's create
So
a
to
new
start,
one and then. But does it not create a virtual environment?
no, poetry would,
Okay.
yes. Poetry does that.
Yeah. Mm. Then, like, do we need this? Because
Doing what?
yeah, then somebody has to create the virtual environment for someone, right?
Yes,
So it
but
should be, yeah.
for most people, then they would have to install poetry, which is a separate thing, right?
Yeah. Okay,
I think the
let's think
documentation
about.
is updated as well. The documentation is updated as well in that pull request to say, okay, you have to create a virtual environment. Yes.
Okay. I don't know what is the best way to do this, but yeah.
This way, you have one step less in installing something, but one step more in generating the virtual environment, which is standard Python practice.
Okay, let's. Wait.
I don't even know where poetry is supported actually. Okay. This is which will work
Okay, yeah.
on Windows, on Linux, and on Amiga OS, basically, wherever Python will work. Okay. I'm not sure about poetry. But the thing that maybe that I couldn't read all the logs, but it should have installed fast API though earlier.
Okay, now we are in the virtual environment, and then let's try it again.
So
See,
pip list. If you just do pip list, we will see whether it's installed or not.
no, it doesn't.
It doesn't. Yes.
So that's why I was wondering. So if the UVcon command is also not working, right?
Now
So
the library is not available, so it won't work. Yes.
yeah, but it has the dependencies here in py project.toml.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's why I was asking on the PR, like how does this work?
Yeah, but for you it was not working because you were not on the right branch anywhere. Okay, so here
No, I
that's
copied
I
the
see.
PyProject just toml from your branch. So this is the same now.
Okay, so I don't know because for me it's tested on 2 operating systems, but not Windows. Okay, so I don't.
Okay. So what does Windows do separately? Okay, we can check it later on then. I don't know what this is, but it has to work on all the 3 platforms because Mayor is also just using Windows. So
Right.
yes.
Can you try the other command to install? With the dev, it shouldn't.
Wait a second.
Yes.
This one.
Yes. You will need to close the quotes though. There is an issue. Yeah.
So in my 10 seconds of ChatGPT research,
Mhm.
I don't, unless it's like way out of date, that pip doesn't read PyProject.toml. PyProject.toml is like a larger ecosystem config file, and that like pip is usually like a requirements. Like how I always used to use it, you have requirements.txt, which is basically like the stuff that you put in that PyProject.toml would just be in a text file, and then it reads that and installs all those packages. Sometimes.
So this is our requirements.txt. So it works with this one.
Okay, so if you just did pip install, I think it's like -r that requirements.txt.
Yeah, so that works. Yeah, this is like making it work with that PyProject.toml.
Yeah.
So sorry,
yeah.
but
I think you could probably use Poetry and use this
Yeah.
PyProject.toml, but then you could generate a requirements.txt file so that anyone else who wanted to just use it could install it real easily.
Yeah, so the requirements.txt already works. So this was PyProject was toml. I had started with Poetry, but then I didn't finish it, and then it was not working. So then I left it.
And so this is when I took over, and basically the requirement text is not necessary anymore. Okay, now it's just PyProject.toml, and pip does work with it. I mean, I have dozens of projects with just PyProject.toml and pip. Okay. However, what I don't know is whether there is some version requirement or version mismatching. Okay, from which version of pip is supported? Maybe that I don't know. I'm doing that for.
Let's upgrade the pip and see, right? It's asking for a pip upgrade now.
Yeah, the command at the bottom. Oh, yeah. Okay. Elliot, if you see something really that we're really missing, please, anytime. Huh?
Yeah, Poetry is new to me, so I usually just use pip and requirements.
Right. Hello, Venkat.
I stepped away from Python for like 8 years, and I can't believe I've come back and it's not any better.
Yeah, the change in Python happened, but it takes so much time. I mean, Python 2 was ended like, what, a few years ago, right? I mean,
yeah.
It took like a decade.
Yeah, that's about the time that it was like, oh, we got to update everything to Python 3, and I was like, no, I'm out.
Those were a painful few years.
No, it still doesn't get it. But it creates this folder. I don't know what is this folder. Tumblr info.
Yeah, no, that's just building the project into quotes. Okay.
I don't know what is different in Windows that it doesn't work.
Yes, so when you commented on the pull request like a few days ago, I retried completely here. Okay, so not Windows, however, and that works as expected.
Okay, I can try it on my Linux machine, and then we can.
I'll try to find a Windows machine, but yeah.
So what version of pip did we figure out that this is?
He took the latest 24 and something, 24.2 or.
24.2. Okay.
Yeah.
It says that the Pi project stuff got added in version 24.
Okay.
So that would be a reason why it wasn't working before, but I don't know.
But now I've upgraded it. It should work, but it's still not.
Is there a requirements.txt in there? Like maybe that like does one conflict with the other?
Yeah, there is, but I don't know how it should affect because it's just reading the
So
Pi project.
I did not remove it in the pull request, just for transition period, for to have a transition
I see.
for people who are not used to Pi project. Okay, but I tested with X. Okay.
Okay, I'll test it on my Linux machine and then check what's happening there. Strange.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Maybe we can check that. What was it? Tailnet thing. How to move it to the common tailnet Red has set up. Do you have access to your RPi, Venkat?
It's kind of taken apart right now since I'm trying to install the SSD. So for the moment, it's not available.
You don't want to do some live hardware hacking?
None today. Hey, I've been doing that, 3 sessions?
No, I wasn't here for
Somebody
them,
else's
though.
turn.
I missed out.
Hey, Elliot, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Venkat.
What were you guys doing just now? Did you do something, Eric?
Eric had that pull request to set up the virtual and Python virtual environment. So it's not working on Windows. You have to check what's happening.
And the other one is another one. It's the README. So the nodes.
Yeah, but it's
it's another
yeah,
branch.
it's depending on the first pull request, right?
Yes. But we can go ahead. There are ways to bypass all that, basically, right?
Maybe we can fill in that README. Okay, I'll copy this to my own branch and then we can push it from my own.
Okay.
Okay. How
And
do
what's
I
the
see the
purpose
raw?
of this PR? Like, is it to simplify the setup or something?
It was supposed to.
But requirements.txt works on every platform, right? So
It should, yes.
this. What is it? How do I view the raw file here? It's already previewing. Okay. So now we can edit it here. But this also requires that pip version
24.
version 24 or above.
0.1, I think.
What was it?
This says 24.1. I think they just version by the years or something.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Okay, let's change this, right? We can use
Bless you. Oh.
using until this works.
Okay, I found a problem on the Pi project.
Okay.
Yes, it's wrong formatting. Okay, so you see, I did test. Huh? Definitely not enough. Here we
So
go.
what's the change required?
I'm sending that now. Yeah. Okay, so you should have it now, but I guess we can do that test too.
So have you put it somewhere?
Sorry?
Have you put the code, the changes somewhere?
In the pull request, yes.
In the GitHub repo, okay.
Yes. So if you refresh, it should give you the right version.
What changed?
So the dependencies, it was in the version I committed was still in maybe the poetry format.
Poetry, yeah. So it was as a separate section here. Okay.
And so
Let's try now.
so fail commit or fail push, something like that on my side.
What was it? Pip install.
-e and dot.
But where does it like install these dependencies? Which folder?
If you're inside a virtual environment, it will install it there.
It will install. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, now it's getting it.
If you are in your system environment and it's
Okay.
compatible, it must be above 3.10, Python 3.10. It will install it there instead. And so here,
Okay, now it works. Yeah.
Yes, the pip list. You can run the uvcorn command. It should work out of the box, right?
Yeah, now it's working.
Okay, sorry, that was me.
Yeah. But now you also require 2 more dependencies. What was it?
Oh,
I think
okay.
it was this Jinja 2 and some beautiful soup 4. You can add it here, right?
Now, if you added that here, it will conflict when you try to merge the pull request, basically, and you will have extra work to fix that.
Okay. So, but now it requires 2 more, Jinja 2 and beautiful 4.
Okay, so
because
I will add them on my side. You want? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just add the latest one. But if you don't specify the version, it should pull in the latest one, right?
Yes, it will do the latest one. Since our goal is to have software a bit into quote educational, but also ready to use, pinning is usually preferred because in Python, more often than not, something breaks just because the dependencies change. Okay.
Okay.
And the pinning that we have now is actually not enough. Okay, we should be pinning everything, but that's a bit of a kill.
Okay.
So
this can
change that to. While we are doing that, is there anything interesting to discuss in the sense that what we're doing right now is really very standard, pull request based kind of work? I don't know if there is anything to discuss.
No, we were just testing your pyproject.toml, right? It was not working, so now that's solved.
Yeah.
No, we can either now fill in the README or try to set up the tailnet.
Right. Yes. Quick question: Beautiful Soup, is it Beautiful Soup 4?
4, yeah. It requires
Okay.
that Beautiful Soup 4.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So this has to be somebody who has done the steps more recently.
Right.
Okay. I think I'll fill this in more detail as I'm doing the steps. But I think we can set up the tailnet. Maybe it's better.
So you now have a DigitalOcean server for the frame server, and then you're running something on your RPi
Yeah.
that talks to your ESP.
Well, I have the RPi and the DigitalOcean droplet on the same tailnet.
Okay.
And the RPi basically has a subnet that forwards the IP or advertises the IP of the ESP32. So my DigitalOcean and RPi are kind of like on the same network.
And those both have Tailscale on them already?
Yeah.
So we just need to switch it to a different
Switch it,
account.
yeah. Is it easy
So
to
I think,
switch?
yeah, I think if you're on the server, not on over Tailscale, if that's possible, you can like just take Tailscale down and then up and re-off, and it'll give you the URL, and you can just do it through the browser.
So it's Tailscale down, right? Something like that.
Tailscale down takes it down, and let me see if I can.
Does anyone know if it's possible to be connected to like multiple tailnets at the same time?
You cannot be connected to multiple at the same time, but you can on a client. The clients now have like a drop down, so you can like switch between them.
Okay.
But I don't know what the holdup is, like why that's still like a problem, because it seems like it's a frequently asked question. It would seem. Last time I looked.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like unless you have a gazillion things on your network, you could probably. I guess it just comes down to like not having overlapping IPs.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what the problem is there. There was the workaround that they promote is like, well, you can just share servers between that your accounts. So like, if you have a server that you want to be able to access from multiple ones, you can like share it into other telnets so that they like the targets can exist in multiple telnets, but you have to like reference them by the full. Like fully qualified domain name, like it kind of impacts the names of things.
Yeah, I was just curious because I run Tailscale on like all of my devices. So I was like, okay, what would be if I was ever to connect to this? What would that look like?
Yeah. you kind of just have to switch to a whole different thing. I think if you do tail scale up -- force reoff, it'll
Okay.
force you to reassign, get the new thing. Yeah, oh, crap. Did I just reconnect? Oh, there we go. I just hit that problem today where I've got like a Linux server on my main tailnet, and I've got VMs. One of them is on the YaRG Robotics one, and I was like, oh man, I think this VM is messed up, and so just like SSHing to the main machine, and then realizing, oh, I'm connected to the wrong tailnet. And I gotta switch back and forth, but I got these other windows open already. It's kind of annoying to have to switch back and forth.
Yeah, I suppose I could always run like a container or something and just have it connected to the tailnet instead of my actual machine.
So Anuraj, what's the plan for DevCon?
So if I have a skeleton ready for switching between either yours or mine Tumblr, and then if that works, basically we could allow people to play for some time or some number of steps, and then we could have kind of a small demo. I don't know where, but we could just go around. I can have the robot with me, and you can have the robot with you. I can just.
I think I forgot who is running a community hub. I'll see if I can get us a spot in that community hub. So they'll have a space, I think, through all 5 days. So we could potentially set things up there and leave them there.
So it's like a small hackerspace, right? So that would be nice.
Yeah. Completely forgotten who told me they're running a community hub. Yeah. And then we can do some casts about it and see who shows up. Oh yeah, I was thinking probably the most interesting feature to put in is controlling the motors one at a time, because then you can turn. Right now we just have forward, backward, stop, right?
Well, the Tumblr server has left and right too, but it doesn't appear on the frame server because frames only allows 4 buttons at a time. So there has to be a kind of a sequence. So either move forward or rotate and then stop.
So I was thinking turn seems to me more interesting than forward and backward is a little redundant, since if you turn, you can just turn around 180 degrees and go in the other direction. So we could potentially just have forward, turn 90, turn 180, pause, something like that. Or forward can be like a finite step, as in it only moves 6 inches and stops. 4 buttons is actually quite a lot of room, right?
Or we can have it like a sequence, right? The first is basically move forward, backward, or move left, right, and then the third button is stop or something. And then if you choose move forward, then it shows the buttons for forward, back, and stop, and go back.
You can change the buttons on the fly.
So each end, so you just have to point it to a different endpoint, right? So it serves a HTML file, so you can just change the next coming serve. So if you choose move forward, so the next button, next frame would be forward, backward, stop, and go back. And then after stopping, if you want to get the previous control, so the go back command would go to the main control frame, and from there you can then choose move left, right, and then from there you would get left, right, stop, and go back. So we can do
But
it
you
that way.
only, but can't you do it like you only need stop if you're moving?
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
So you could have like a moving mode, which just has one button to like stop.
No, I didn't get it. So it starts with either
So it
move left,
starts.
right.
I'm saying yeah, forward, backwards, left, and right, and then as soon as you hit one of those buttons, then the next frame only has a stop button.
I'm
Okay.
still thinking, can we do without stop and make all these commands like finite step size, one step at a time? So forward
Yeah, it's
and
probably
backward
safer.
would be 6 inches and turns would be 90-degree increments. Because one of the things I'm finding, like since I'm playing with my Legos, which have like really fiddly controls, it's really kind of like annoying to have to like start it and stop it, unless you're doing like lots of maneuvering in a pretty large open space. It gets annoying to do that, and I think it's actually uh, easier to just move one step at a time.
Well, we can have steps in time domain, but not in the physical domain because the encoders don't work. So the signal we
Yeah,
have
time
for
will work. I mean, we have a rough sense of the how fast the thing moves. So for
yeah,
like 2 second forward, 2 second backwards. Same thing with turns. Turns would be weird because we'd have to like figure out the 90-degree turn, and depending on like the physical inaccuracies, it could be like off or on. Um,
yeah,
yeah.
because I feel like, but we can do it after DevCon because I can design a board which has the signal integrity like properly working. So the encoder pins don't get the signals properly from the main board to the plugin board. It
Oh, okay. So the
deteriorates.
problem is, your hardware pin stuff. It's not that you
Yeah.
get it. Okay.
So basically, like the capacitive load is too much right now with the
Right.
plugin board. So right now it's the encoders are not working, but actually it's possible if we redesign the board.
Oh, and the other thing I think we need for a fairly complete experience is a separate camera that's actually showing what's happening live. Otherwise, well, people can control it if they're right there, but then the whole point of like routing command through Farcaster and stuff is like lost, right? If you're right there, it makes more sense to control the thing directly. So I was thinking we can bring like a small camera like this one and just attach it to the laptop and point it at the floor and stream that separately. I'm not quite sure how to do this, but can the Farcaster frame grab a frame from a completely separate live stream camera or something like that? Like you give a command, it looks up this live stream and grabs a frame and shows you where it is now, something like that.
I don't know if it can. I had tried changing the images, the frames serves, but it caches the Farcaster like server somewhere in like Webcast.
Oh
It
yeah, yeah, you mentioned
caches caches the image, and then I think there is a way to
You
set the timeout for it, but
yeah,
I was
we
not
did
able
that.
to do it.
We did that in my we did like a prototype frame server, like the very first time frame servers ever came up, and we solved that by like adding a URL parameter to the image, so it always looked new. Because you can always, because the frame server can always just rewrite
cache
a different
busting,
link.
yeah. Just append a timestamp.
Yeah, it was just something that the web server ignored, and it worked great.
Okay, I tried that. So I had this temperature and humidity sensor on board, and then what I would do is write a PNG image locally, and then write the text on that temperature and humidity on that image, and then I would try to serve that, but it wouldn't update the text. So basically, it was not updating the image. At some point, I had tried it, but it was not working for me.
Let me find that. I completely forgot that I even wrote code to do some of this. Try to remember how we did that.
An alternate would be just keep it completely separate outside the frame. So in the frame cast, we would put in a link saying, if you want to actually see what you're doing, click this link and go to watch the live stream, and then use the frame to actually control it. And then you can use the frame feedback space to like show temperature or something like that, or the last 3 commands, so you have like a log of whatever you've been doing. Because I think without visual feedback, the experience will feel like, what the hell am I doing?
So I have this this ESP32. It's called ESP-I. So it has a camera on it. If we can connect it somehow to the controller tumbler ESP32, then we can have kind of an image from the tumbler itself. But then we have to see how to power this up. So it should run on a small battery, and then we can connect it to the same network, and then advertise the IP via subnet routing. And then maybe the frame server can ask this ESP32 to also get the image somehow. And it gets the image and then sends the, yeah, it's quite complex, but but it's possible, not impossible.
Yeah, I mean, this is your domain. You're the one who's going to have to do it, since I can just about barely execute what you tell me to do. But yeah, I mean, something like that.
I dropped the HTML template that I was using in the private chat there, and it did basically what I said, where it's got like a link to an image and then question mark UUID equals some random UUID that got generated for every invocation, and then
Okay.
it worked then. But like the feature was like a couple weeks old or something at that point, so who knows if that still works.
Right. Next week's session, maybe we should make it a proper sort of live coding design session to like flesh this out.
Oh, here, I guess I can pull up the demo. I can do this. So that's all it did. And the secret was this. The frame or the image was always this, but had this random UUID on the end. So it did refresh it.
I think I had tried the random thing some point, but I'll try it again. So this is what I had. So yeah, I was trying these headers, adding these headers, so to make it expire quickly, but then it still wouldn't update. But maybe I can try what you are doing.
What's the lowest you can set the expiry? Because if you're moving the robot, you need something down to like half a second, maybe below that.
No, this is like the expiry is 0, so it doesn't cache at all. So it will just try to, at least that is what I understood from their documentation. But this doesn't work actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll try what Red has. That would be nice. I can bring the temperature and humidity sensor too. And then we can show them. Yeah. So we need to flesh out the frame server now. But next week I might not be able to join. I'm going to this ESA's R&D center for a conference.
What R&D center? ESA's what?
ESA is like the European Space Agency.
Oh, yeah.
They have a R&D center in Netherlands. It's called ESTEC.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a conference there. I'm going there
Nice.
on Thursday. So there is like a onboard software conference. So basically like one of my friends is also presenting there. He's presenting something on Rust-based real-time kernel for onboard software systems. But yeah, I'm just visiting as a workshop attendee.
Is this always on Wednesdays?
For you, yeah, at the moment.
Where are you based,
So
Elliot?
Oakland.
Oh, okay, yeah. 9:30.
and last year we were having it on Mondays. Was it Mondays for you guys?
Tuesday evening. It was Tuesdays at noon for a while. Yeah, now it's Wednesdays at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, we occasionally move the timing around so we can take turns being the sleepy zombies. In the previous time, I think Eric was at 4 a.m. or something for you, right, Eric?
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was terrible in Japan. So now US West Coast is late night.
Yeah,
And not super
this is
late.
okay. I won't be able to make the next 2 weeks, but after that, this is normally a good time.
And then we also have the twice yearly daylight savings time confusion where we're not quite sure what time we're meeting. So
That's coming up, yeah.
in a couple more weeks, I don't know what time it'll be.
Tell you, if we ever get an open source rover to Mars, time zones are going to kill us, basically. That will be funny if we get all the way to Mars and then it doesn't work because we got the time zones wrong.
Yeah. So next week, let's see if I can get something fleshed out and if I can join. But you guys could continue. So yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Okay.
Catch you later.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good night. Good day.